used to probably do, I think around 400, 500 orders a month on our website. We were doing 1,800 orders, 1,200 orders, 1,000 orders on a daily basis, right? Favorite shark, to Aman, obviously, because he's very
Soft.
fun-loving and soft, yeah.
Actually तो शेल्फ शॉपकीपर ने उसे आगे रख दिया and it started to sell more. उसका मार्जिन बढ़ गया, just 2x हो गया 30 से 60.
100% of all the product that is sold in India is sold offline. Just 2% is sold online, right? Like even Amazon's complete sale is in that 2%.
Yo, what is up, my friends? Welcome back to Thoughtcast. My name is Aditya Bajaj, and for today, my guest is none other than Mayank, who is the founder of Gud Gum. Gud Gum is a better-for-you confectionery brand which has plastic-free chewing gums and which has been featured on Shark Tank India Season 3. In this episode of Thoughtcast, Mayank has discussed about the insights of being an entrepreneur, building your own brand, and has also told us about the procedure, the due diligence process, the pathway through which sharks give you funding and you get on Shark Tank. We've also discussed about food tech, what you should eat, what's good for you, what's not, and a lot more. The super insightful episode with Mayank, the founder of Gud Gum, starts in 3, 2, 1.
Why do I do what I do is because, like when there is something that you'd want out there and is not there, there has to be somebody making that thing, right? Or solving that thing. And that's, I think, where entrepreneurs differ from the rest of the community, right? So entrepreneurs are the people who want to get their hands dirty and get that thing done, right? Like, agar you want some product to be there in the market, rather than just cribbing about it not being there, you might as well just solve for it.
Yeah. But entrepreneurship ही क्यों? क्योंकि 9 to 5 jobs are considered to be ऐसे boring, but still it's a by default path ना कि you did engineering, तो engineering क्यों नहीं लिया आपने फिर?
So, see, I always wanted to be a doctor. I wrote my entrance also to get into a good medical college. But because of the, obvious competition that is out there, and I had certain reservations that I didn't want to get outside of Bangalore. I wanted to get a college in Bangalore. And with the rank I got and general merit, I wouldn't get a college in Bangalore or a seat in Bangalore. And I didn't want to move out of Bangalore for like a 5-6 year period, right? So the second obvious, so like why I wanted to be a doctor also is to solve problems, right? Like always wanted to be a problem solver, and nothing is better than healing people. So the second obvious choice was, food, because food is something which has no barriers. Like when somebody asks me what's the target audience, I think for food there's no target audience. Everybody needs that particular commodity on their daily basis, and it kind of invokes emotions, it heals people, it kind of gives you nutrition, etc. So since beginning I've been very intrigued about how we eat, what we eat, how things are made, probably when we are in 6th grade, 7th grade, people don't even, people just want to eat Maggie, but I was kind of inquisitive to understand how Maggie is made, or how Maggie was started, right? And since that time, I was kind of always interested about how things are made, how food products are made, how does it reach our shelf, and how things at home go spoiled, but food that is processed does not, right? So that's why I picked up chemical engineering, because it had like an elective. उसमें एक elective था food tech का, and then I thought कि उसके बाद जाके masters करेंगे तो एक you first enter a stream and then you get deeper into it. So it was all a planned execution, and then I did my masters food science में food production management. So when you get into a food factory, it's all about engineering, right? It's not food. People usually confuse me to be the culinary person, like a chef, but that's not what we learn. What we learn is कि you have a sauce that you really like, you make it at home. How do you make that sauce last for 12 months? How do you make that sauce cheaper? How do you make that sauce on a larger scale to sell to a larger population? So that's what I studied, and that's been the path. And because I am Marwadi, we're a family of businessmen.
Yeah.
All of my parents, my cousins, all of them have run their own businesses. We've never believed in a 9 to 5 job, although it gives you that financial stability. But like all of us have it in our blood to take that risk. So It was never a thing कि 9 to 5 job करना है. I did work for a couple of years for some experience, but that was also in a startup, never in a corporate. And
Okay.
my goal was set. I wanted to build my own business, and that's what I'm doing.
Best, perfect. And that's like really because food tech के बारे में this is not much explored in the mainstream, right? इतना कुछ किसी ने describe करा भी नहीं है. But then फिर gumming industry क्यों specifically गई? Because you said Good Gum you want to make a healthy for everyone confectionery brand, right?
Yeah.
So why only first of all focused on chewing gums rather
You
than
see,
जैसे
you always need an entry point into business, right? And when you look at the industry out there, there's a lot of competition in the snacks, in the beverage, in the condiments industry. There's a lot of brands coming up because obviously the market size is larger, so a lot of people want to get into it, right? But because I've done sales for a brand earlier in my first job, I was working for a startup where we were making health drinks for women, and I was also looking at their sales in the last 4 months of my stint there, and that's when I realized कि real estate in a supermarket is very small, and when there are 100 beverage brands vouching for that real estate space, it is very difficult to put your product out there, right? For example, even if you are a raw pressery, if you have 20 SKUs, you cannot have all of your 20 SKUs in a supermarket.
in one
You'll
supermarket.
always get only one shelf where you can put your product, or probably just one layer, right? So when I was doing sales, I realized that these two industries are definitely very thriving. There's a lot of scope, but there's not much infrastructure where I can put my product out there. And confectionery or chewing gum was one such space where like firstly the product is shelf stable, मतलब shelf life उसकी ज़्यादा है, तो आपको wastage की problem नहीं आएगी. Second, it's a small high value product, so आपको छोटी जगह में ज़्यादा value मिल सकता है. And thirdly, nobody is disrupting the chewing gum industry. If you ask anybody, the only brands that you would see on Amazon are the same Happy Dents, the Orbits, the Boomer, etc. Right?
Yeah.
There's not much disruption happening in that space. So and also the fourth point is automatically a chewing gum product lands in the impulse purchase category. It will come at the billing counter without me having to push it to be there, right?
Yeah.
As if I was a beverage, I would want to, I would have to spend lots of money to put my product from the lower shelf to the middle shelf where the eyeballs are at, right? Because everything there's money associated with.
True.
But the chewing gum automatically वहीं पे आ जाता मेरा product, right? So and also there's like multiple different things that kind of brought us into chewing gum. My younger brother, who's the co-founder, Puan, he is very driven about plastic waste and plastic waste reduction, or even educating people about plastic in general, right? And chewing gum was one such product where people had zero knowledge, and it was a great touch point where I can say, dude, your chewing gum contains plastic, ours does not, and people just go like, what, have I been chewing plastic all these days? And then they automatically want to talk to you. But ये का मैं आपको बोलूंगा कि आपके आइस टी में बहुत सारा शुगर है, मैं आपको एक नया आइस टी दे रहा हूँ जिसमें बहुत कम शुगर है. That's not solving a very
काफी
radical
कॉमन हो गया वो.
problem, right? It's a very common lingo, and this is something. It's a small industry, not solved for, so it's a good entry point. And again, it's a product that people of every age group eat. It's a product that people of every lifestyle consume, right? Like everybody has chewed a gum once in their lifetime, although it's not a very recurring consumption, but खाएगा, हर कोई खाएगा, right? So those are all the key factors that wanted us to get into it, and because both of our interests, he had interest in plastic, I had interest, or plastic and sustainability, I had interest in clean label food. So both of these culminated to make chewing gums, and आगे like confectionery further going is also not disrupted as yet. There's a lot of potential. तो आगे वो करेंगे, because see, I mean, initially you start as a chewing gum industry, but उसके बाद when you look at investors, they always want कि what is your like अभी तुम रोड पे आ गए, हाईवे क्या है, right? What's
Yeah.
your pipeline? And that's when we say confectionery as a broader category. But what we look at the brand is कि we want to be the good amongst the bad, right? Like Good Gum, I want to make a good chocolate, I want to make a good ketchup, I want to make a good jam, right? So be the good amongst the
A
bad.
better brand for the rest of the confectionery category. नहीं, जब आपने बोला ना कि product placement matters a lot, ये मैंने recently बहुत notice करा था. So एकदम से नया like flavored yogurt I used to eat, and
Yeah.
hostel में it used to cost around 25-30 rupees.
Yeah.
And one day I just grab a same amount of same packaging and I place and गलती से मैंने उस पे MRP देख लिया 60 rupees. I'm like
Hmm.
मैं एक month से एक खा रहा हूँ 25 की same packaging and then I noticed the brand's name is different, the components, the amount of protein, the amount of probiotics, everything is same.
Yeah.
Just what happened is same packaging थी तो shelf shopkeeper ने उसे आगे रख दिया and it started to sell more, उसका margin बढ़ गया. Just
Yeah.
2x हो गया 30 से 60.
100%.
Yeah. तो but
Like it's
yes.
like incentivizing, right? Like अगर high value product है तो supermarket वाला या store वाला will be equally motivated because he'll make more money out of the same product, right?
Hmm.
So he will obviously sell products where he's making more money.
Yeah.
So that's tactics, like people usually MRP बढ़ा के रखते हैं ताकि वो लोग distributors या retailers को अच्छी margin दे सके. And they will do all it takes to sell your product. You will not have to do any marketing. The vendor does all the marketing.
मेक सेंस. मतलब जितना मार्जिन हम रिटेलर को देंगे उसे उतना इंसेंटिव मिलेगा ना पुश करने के लिए.
Exactly.
तो जैसे यू ऑल्सो मेंशन कि आप 50% ऑनलाइन थे 50% ऑफलाइन, तो ऑफलाइन चैलेंजेस क्या आए थे? बिकॉज यू वर लाइक how many stores are you there right now
We're in
currently?
about 120 stores,
Uh-huh.
but I'm a very firm believer that offline is the way to go. Like I wouldn't say only offline is the way to go, but 98% of all the product that is sold in India is sold offline. Just 2% is sold online, right? Like even Amazon's complete sale is in that 2%, right?
Hmm.
So you see the potential of offline sales is much higher, right? That is because like India is still getting digital now.
Yeah.
People want products. It's a very vast country. आप बैंगलोर में बैठ के अभी च्युइंगम आपको दिल्ली में खानी है, यू विल नॉट वांट टू वेट 3 days. पर
Yeah.
अगर आप पास के रिटेल स्टोर में हो या बाई क्विक कॉमर्स वर्क इज आपको 5 मिनट में चाहिए, आपको मिल जाएगी, राइट? एंड यू आर रेडी टू पे दैट प्रीमियम फॉर इट, राइट?
Fair enough.
तो लाइक ऑफलाइन और हाइब्रिड इज definitely the way to go. Offline में challenges are a lot. Like आपको supermarkets, like again, supermarket consider it as a real estate, right? You're looking for a plot in a property. You're
Property.
looking for, say, consider the supermarket as a city, and you're looking for a plot in that supermarket.
Yeah, yeah.
Some cities are extremely expensive, right? Because there's a lot of footfall, there's a lot of brand attractions, so these supermarkets will take an upfront cost from you. They'll be like, आपको अपना product यहाँ पे रखना है, आप मुझे entry fees दो 1 लाख रुपए, फिर हम आपको यहाँ रख देंगे. So that's a one-time investment that you do, and for a bootstrap company like us, that definitely does not make sense, right? Because अगर मैं 1 लाख रुपए एक स्टोर को दे दूं, उसके बाद में उसको मैं margins भी दूं, and all I'm making is probably 10 rupees a pack of gums, when am I going to recover that 1 lakh rupee?
Yeah.
Right? So majority of the investment that we're looking to raise is to be able to fund all of these listing charges that these supermarkets ask for, right? So this is one of the major challenges in offline distribution. Second is finding the right partners, finding the right distributors who are equally motivated as you to push the product in their particular cities. So hey, lesser, I'd say offline has lesser challenges than online. Online में आप हजारों ब्रांड से भिड़ रहे हो to get people's eyeballs on Meta and Google, right? Like Amazon will obviously, Instagram also has its own regulations की Mayank को है ना, I'm not going to show more than these many ads. But for those many ads, there are thousands of companies bidding, right? So obviously, even if you're spending a lot of money, आपकी ad may or may not go out to the right customer, right? But in an offline setting, when you actually do like a heat mapping, when you understand ki, for example, in Bombay mein Bandra, Khar, Juhu are the richer people's society, and mine is a premium product. मैं उनके एरिया में कोई भी सुपरमार्केट में प्रोडक्ट रख लूं, मेरा प्रोडक्ट बिकेगा, right? So offline में you're able to do that, and you can see clear results post that. On online, maybe I don't know if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see that sort of heat mapping sort of sales happening.
तो मतलब अकॉर्डिंग टू यू एज यू सेड, मतलब मेरे को मेरे को लगा था कि ऑफलाइन वुड बी मोर डिफिकल्ट क्योंकि सारे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से पहले माथा पच्ची करो एंड फिर यू फाइंडिंग द राइट पीपल. बट जैसे आपने बताया कि द एफर्ट इज टू रिटर्न रेशियो ऑफलाइन में वे बेटर है दैन ऑनलाइन.
Exactly. Right? So you start seeing, like for example, say a cafe in a random locality in Bangalore. That cafe will have the same sort of customers coming on a regular basis, right? तो अगर वहां पे आपका प्रोडक्ट है, बिकॉज दोज कस्टमर्स आर कमिंग देयर ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस, they are picking that product on a regular basis,
Yeah.
right? Online, that may or may not happen. Again, it differs, for my product, I'd say offline is the way to go. Chewing gums are an impulse purchase product. It's not a planned purchase. But for example, a healthcare brand, or any nutraceutical product, that obviously should sell online because it is an expensive product, and it's a perishable product. Or like, you only need the product if you need it. It's not an impulse purchase. So
Yeah.
for such products, online is the way to go. But what entrepreneurs do wrong initially is they spend a lot of time online and they forget the potential of offline. So for a product, it is very important to understand key what is your target customer, where is that target customer shopping, and place your product there. And for me, I understand offline is very important.
Similarly, जैसे बोट ने भी ऑफलाइन में पिवट करा, मामा अर्थ ऑल्सो पिवटेड इन ऑफलाइन. तो
Yeah.
एज यू मेंशनड अबाउट फंडिंग, तो फंडिंग का ना ऐसे स्टार्टिंग से जस्ट टेल कि हाउ वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस एट शार्क टैंक, एंड ऑल्सो शार्क टैंक के बाद का क्या एक्सपीरियंस था, क्योंकि उसके बाद दूसरे वीसीज कांटेक्ट करेंगे, बेटर डील्स ऑफर्स आई कि नहीं आई. दैट वाज द स्पाइस आई एम लुकिंग फॉर कि क्या क्या
Yeah.
बेटर डील्स आई फिर.
No, so I think it's very early. I mean, I have not even gone through all the mails and all the LinkedIn messages that have come in. Feb 5th को episode air हुआ, and Feb 18th को Bhuvan, my co-founder or my younger brother, उसकी शादी थी, right? So
Wow.
yeah, we were on a 10-day break, and the team was looking after the whole business, right? And obviously you can't decide when your episode airs. Like, that's completely on Sony and Shark Tank. So, we obviously, Feb month has just gone by like this. There was like a huge surge of orders. And just today we have, kind of fulfilled all the backlog of orders that we had. Like 16th Feb को हमने stock out करा था. आज हमने सारे orders fulfill किए.
मैं बहुत टाइम से, the moment it aired, after a week I'm looking for it and I'm not able to find it anywhere.
Exactly, right. So because हमने वेबसाइट पे क्लियरली मेंशन करा था कि हम लोग 10 से 12 दिन लेंगे.
It's
10 से 12 working days लेंगे to dispatch the order, but like, people tend to forget or misreading that, and there was a lot of misconception कि भाई ये लोग तो product नहीं भेज रहे, but हमने हमारी तरफ से सारी कोशिश करी थी to inform people कि ऐसे होगा, right? Because we're a very small company, and when you get onto Shark Tank, the potential is huge. You have probably, out of the 130 crore population, I think at least 15 crore people watching.
Yeah.
Or at least 10 crore people watching. That's national prime time television, Sony Entertainment, right? Like, everybody is watching, and Shark Tank has grown popular over time.
बहुत ज़्यादा.
So obviously that surge would come, and we were not prepared for this, right? And what can you even prepare? Everything is a manual process. These chewing gums take time to manufacture. They are handmade. The raw materials are rare to source. तो वो सारे hiccups आते हैं. We are not a full-fledged automated factory वाली company. हम लोग हमारी manufacturing खुद करते हैं. तो वो issues थे, and that's why we told कि मतलब हम time लेंगे, but हम आपको product अपना देंगे, right? So like, after Shark Tank, times are being crazy. Like, the number of people that have reached out, distributors, people, like, interested in exports, imports, podcasters like yourself who help us, increase our PR, lots of service providers pitching their product to you. So, like, it just opens a plethora of things that are out there, and the potential that your brand can tap into. We have received orders from states that we have never shipped a single order to, right? Like, probably Tripura and Andaman Nicobar, etc. Right? These are places where populations are super low, and getting orders from there, that shows truly that the kind of visibility that the show brings in. So we are very grateful to be on there, and I think I would want myself to be there in the next year, but हमने इस बार form भरा and everything fell in place and we got the opportunity. So great. Like, अगर maybe next year होते तो हमारे पास production capacity ज़्यादा होती, हम लोग ज़्यादा orders कम time में fulfill कर पाते. So things would have been better, but you like, it's never.
It had to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Like, it happened. Like, majority of the people don't even get through. So I'm very grateful that it fell in place for us.
So what was the actual process? जैसे form भरा फिर then what
So you
actually
fill your
happened?
form and then post that they get back to you. They ask you for a video pitch, and then after a few months they'll get back to you asking you to come for an in-person audition in Bombay. And then like they let you know that if you get selected for the TV round, you're gonna get a call. If you don't get a call by this time, consider yourself that you've not qualified, right? So these are like three preliminary rounds that you go through, and you have to share a lot of documents. Obviously, show your financials to show that what you're claiming is true, with respect to your business and all the claims that you make about your product. तो सारा होने के बाद, this is when you go to Bombay and you're in Bombay for 4 days. First 3 days are all about rehearsals, just getting comfortable with the lights and the way you're going to walk, the way you're going to talk, etc. But one thing I'd want to add is Shark Tank is not scripted. It is very, very, it's very candid. Like it is think like a conversation that you and I are having right now, right?
Yeah.
uh, the sharks don't know who's coming, and we don't get in touch with the sharks, so we are not allowed to even meet the sharks before we pitch. So you get that 1.5 hour of pitching, and that's your time to make your attempt to impress the sharks, right? You can even, there'll be a lot of people who probably be lying कि हम लोग इतना revenue कर रहे हैं, but they might
Hmm.
not be also, right? So to entice the shark. So uh, look, that's your 50 minutes to just like more of an elevator pitch. आप क्या बोल सकते हो? What potential can you show? What integrity and grit can you maintain? What honesty can you show, etc. So even though our business is it's not a 1,000 crore market. We are not going to be 100 crore brand anytime soon. But the point is, we are solving a small problem, and we are solving it with all honesty. And we are driven to solve this problem. So all of that showed, and I think that's what the Sharks were impressed about. So yeah, I mean, it's not scripted. You give your pitch. It's a live conversation that happens. So yeah, after that, you come back, and then the due diligence process starts. The teams of the Sharks get in touch with you. They ask you for all the documents. They'll also go through it. So just to understand, are there any red flags? Like, is there something flawed? Are you compliant? Are you filing your taxes? Are you doing everything legally or not? तो ये सारा अगर सही है तो ऑब्वियसली पैसा आ जाएगा. अगर वो सारा सही नहीं है तो तुम कुछ तो झोल कर रहे हो, तो मे बी उसमें इन दैट केस द डील मे नॉट हैपन. तो the due diligence process can take up to 2 months or sometimes 3 months. But that's great. By that time, your episode would have aired, and you're getting like a huge inflow of orders. So like the cash flow definitely improves. So that's been it. And post that, like 5 को हमारा episode air हुआ, 7 और 8 को almost every hour, every minute there was an order coming in. So you know, we used to probably do, I think around 400, 500 orders a month on our website. We were doing 1,800 orders, 1,200 orders, 1,000 orders on a daily basis, right?
Sorry for the interruption, but if you're liking the conversation, you're learning something from the conversation, you're finding the conversation interesting, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. It costs you nothing.
And like 16th को हमने stock out करा because we knew कि customers will not wait, and इतना बड़ा backlog will be a difficult point to convey to the customers. So just like कि precautionary measure कि अभी stock out कर लेते हैं. Maybe after finishing this backlog is when we can start taking newer orders to fulfill them in a more timely fashion.
Yeah. So उसके बाद अब आपका एपिसोड शॉर्ट कब हुआ था? So has the money reached the account now?
No. So due diligence is still going on. Like obviously, there's a lot of it's a 4 month season, I think, or a 3 month shooting period, right? So imagine the number of companies that these sharks invest in. Obviously, their teams also take a lot of time to go through all of these documents, etc. So it takes time. हमारा due diligence चल रहा है. तो money is not hit the account, but it will. I mean, we are bullish about it. वो आ ही जाएगा. मतलब why wouldn't it? It was shot in December, on the 2nd of December, and I think it was aired in Feb or 5th of Feb.
2 months का gap था.
Hmm.
I also had a chance of visiting the Shark Tank's set during October, and फिर
Yeah.
वो कुछ तो delay हो गया, and I could not just go just because वो It was Durga Puja's holidays, and for shoot delay हो गया. So when I was in
Okay.
Bombay, I had the
You were
chance.
going to go for what?
No. I just to see the shoot, what actually happens behind the scenes.
You're allowed that way?
My bua has a production house
Ah, acha, okay.
in through contacts, just to
Got it.
see what actually happens behind the
Got
scenes,
it.
behind the camera. So
Got it.
that was something I regretted. What happens?
Got it.
There you go. Yeah. So नहीं, I was like damn. The first season मैंने देखा था, I was too hooked. First season जो 2 साल पहले आया, I was like damn, this concept. क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत छोटा था. I was in like 10th standard, 11th standard, and I was like damn, this genuinely attracted me. तो आपका what's your plan for Good Gum ahead? अब क्या? From now where?
So that's the thing, like आप गली से रोड पे आ गए हो, अभी रोड से हाईवे पे जाओ, right? Like the potential is huge. Just for our plan is to increase production. Now we have seen the potential that the Indian market has. There are 130 crore people that you can sell your product potentially to. उसका 1% कस्टमर को भी अगर तुम प्रोडक्ट दे दो, या even a 0.1% of that total population, if it becomes your customer, that's huge business, right? तो हमको right now we're just solving for production, and the product talks for itself, right? Like we want to make our products tastier and cheaper, because those are two main goals that every company has, but sticking true to its roots, saying it's a plastic free all natural product forever, and increase production, increase the team. We are looking to raise funds to increase the team size. Like right now, we're a very frugal company. We, the founders, don't even extract any salary out of the company, because we want to just reinvest into the business, and not have like some sort of a runway कि भाई पैसा खत्म हो जाएगा, तुम business कैसे चलाओगे, etc. But अभी एक बार थोड़ा सा investment आ जाता है, you get in that discipline, then you have that money to market, you have that money to place your product in all the supermarkets that you wanted to be present in. So ये सारी चीजें हमको करनी है. Like we mentioned on the tank, we want to be synonymous with chewing gums for the people who are growing up now. Like I'm a 90s kid. For us, chewing gum was boomer, right? अब boomer chewing gum के बदले कितने लोग boomer बोल लेते हैं. So when the people who are born in the 2020s or the 2010s grow up,
हमारे
good
लिए सेंटर फ्रेश थी पहले.
good gum should be synonymous with chewing gum, right? Chewing gum के बदले लोग good gum बोलना चाहिए. जैसे आप पानी की बोतल को synonymously
Distillery.
बोल दोगे. We want that to happen, and that's our goal.
So, what do you think in how many years this should happen?
5 years?
By 2029,
Yeah,
2020.
2030, yeah.
Yeah. And also talking about as a Shark Tank, who was your favorite shark जो आपको चाहिए था?
Favorite shark? To Aman, obviously, because he's very
Soft.
fun-loving, and yeah, soft, yeah. That was not scripted, by the way. That was very, like it just came. So that was the we just happened to call him soft. But my favorite shark was 1 minute, huh? So I wanted Aman Gupta, obviously, because he's always chewing gum, he's fun loving, etc. And Ritesh to pehli bari he's
the
this
first
there
time.
this thing. We've not kind of seen him in a public appearance to know what sort of a person he is, but he was a super warm and welcoming sort of a person. Like he always had a smile on his face, like that shows that. And you can see that he's wearing a dolphin t-shirt everywhere he goes. So he's not a shark, but he's a dolphin. He's that nicer person in the tank, right? And Anupam, for us, was a welcome change. Anupam did not like our product when he ordered last Feb. And from there to having converted him to invest in our business, that is like a huge personal win for us. So I'm a huge fan of Anupam, just because like he knows his things, right? He has unlimited knowledge about every industry, and that shows. You see the pitches and the way he leads the deals. He is, I think I can say he is a man of substance. Matlab, he knows his shit.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So getting a person like that on board would obviously be a great push for us. And like when we walked into the tank, he was right in the center, and we knew for a fact that he had ordered our gums and he did not like it. we were just anticipating abhi what is Anupam going to say.
Yeah.
Um, and when he said that, when I tried it first, it was terrible, but abhi मतलब बहुत बदलाव है, and that's where uh, the kind of ice broke between me and him, because like initially you will have that sort of hesitance कि maybe he's going to rip you apart, or like
एक
he's
बार पहले
gonna,
रिजेक्ट कर दिया है, क्या पता वापस कर दे.
yeah. But getting into invest into a business, that's like a true kind of turnaround within a year.
And also Vinita also invested, right?
Yeah,
Vinita was
Vinita also
also the part
invested.
of
Yeah, I
the team.
mean, yeah. I mean, sugar investing in a sugar-free chewing gum. So
Irony.
irony. But yeah, she's like a fitness freak.
Yeah.
She understands. She's a runner, etc. So getting that sort of mentorship and that sort of community, she has a huge community of women that carry lipsticks in their bags. A chewing gum is a product that will end up in their bags as well. So she
Hopefully.
is going to be she's going to be one way for us to get there as well.
Yeah. Makes sense. And मेरे को वो बहुत सही लगा था when you asked अनुपम सर about कि रॉयल्टी ले या ना ले, क्योंकि ऑनेस्टली तुम टैंक पे हो, उन्होंने एक ऑफर दिया है, उसमें काउंटर ऑफर करना तुम्हारा हक है, बट एक बैक ऑफ द माइंड आता है ना कि क्या पता ये जो ऑफर दिया वो चले जाए.
वो होता है, but like I'll tell you what, वो भी मतलब it's just what sort of a person myself and my brother are, right? Like we are kind of upfront, we're honest, like uh, we've we've never the kind of upbringing that we have, we're just transparent, like, right? अभी अगर कोई बंदा हमको कुछ गलत बोल दे तो हम पूछते हैं कि भाई what happened, right? Like
Yeah.
we're not just going to do it. So I wouldn't say royalty वाला was a गलत thing, but अगर मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा है कि what is the deal, and you are the person who can kind of break it down for me, why wouldn't I ask you?
Yeah,
And पूछने से ही knowledge मिलेगी, right? So
fair
I'm
enough.
a very inquisitive person. I ask questions to everybody about everything about their industry, right? And be it on the tank or not on the tank, because that ice was broken, we were having a good conversation. I was like, might as well just ask him, and that worked in our favor.
Yeah. तो वो royalty for you, was it okay at that moment? Because giving a part of your revenue.
See, so we did also discuss ki if only we are profitable, the royalty will be into picture. If we are burning on marketing, we will not be paying royalty.
Perpetual.
So, and it's not for perpetuity. It's just to put in some kind of discipline. Ki we have to stay profitable for as long as possible. So, I mean, it is good to be where it was. I think people have got royalty deals where they're gonna give them 1% or 2% back until they get 2x of their money
Yes.
back, etc. So in our case, that was much better.
The
So
same
मैंने बोला,
amount, right?
can we remove the royalty out? But then they were like, no, royalty the chair. Like, okay, might as well just go ahead.
And also integration of like proteins, nutrients जो आपने बोला, when will that phase happen for Good Gum? Just like आपने बोला ना, you want to replace those
The second
gummies.
half of the second half of this year.
By 2025.
Yeah. नहीं, second half of
2026.
this year,
हाँ हाँ.
like July onwards.
Okay.
अभी हम लोग वही प्रोडक्शन के लिए सॉल्व कर रहे हैं ताकि हम लोग काफी मात्रा में च्युइंग गम बना सके, एंड देन पोस्ट दैट इज व्हेन वी कैन स्टार्ट मेकिंग न्यूअर एसकेयूज. अभी फिलहाल के लिए जो थी एक्सपेक्टिंग एग्जिस्टिंग कैपेसिटी, उसमें हम लोग एग्जिस्टिंग एसकेयूज नहीं फुलफिल कर पा रहे, तो डजंट मेक सेंस टू लॉन्च न्यूअर एसकेयूज एंड देन स्टॉक आउट ऑन द अदर.
Makes sense. So, just I want to don't not stretch it up a lot, but
Yeah.
just want to wrap it up with this key. What do you see Good Gum? ऐसे मेरे को I feel there is no point of making plans 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, because तुम्हें नहीं पता practically market कैसे होने वाला है, right? But still, as a vision, where do you see Good Gum in 10 years, and where do you see yourself along with my Bhuvan in 10 years?
So, like, I want to be a shark in the next 10 years. If I'd say that probably on the podcast. Like, there's tons of food companies coming in. And I have, like, I always want to be in the food space. So, Good Gum को एक point पे लाके उसको autopilot पे रख के and then move on to making better things. Like I mentioned, maybe a good chocolate coming, or maybe a good jam coming up. So there's plethora of things in the food industry that can be made or solved for. So हमारा जो brand है Good Gum, it's not just going to be stuck to gum, but a lot more of things. So what we're looking to do in the next 10 years is really change how uh, our consumers are consuming products, right? आज के दिन में a brand gives you a product. It does not talk about the impact of that product on your health, right? But we want to be that brand that tells you that, hey Aditya, ये product आप खाओगे तो मे बी आपको इतना चलना पड़ेगा टू बर्न द कैलोरीज दैट यू कंज्यूम. ये प्रोडक्ट आप 4 से ज्यादा मत खाइए दिन में, राइट? एंड क्रिएट दैट कम्युनिटी वेयर आप सिर्फ अपना प्रोडक्ट नहीं बेच रहे हो, बट you're empowering those consumers to live a healthier life. मतलब कंज्यूमर रहेगा तो आपका प्रोडक्ट बिकता रहेगा. अगर अगर आप रेड बुल बेच रहे हो और आप नहीं बोल रहे हो लोगों को कि आप दिन में 2 से ज्यादा मत पियो, and if people start consuming 4 a day on a daily basis, they're going to have high BP, they're going to have hypertension, they're going to have diabetes, all of that, and they're eventually not going to buy a product, right? But rather make a product and educate consumers so that they are empowered to make the right choices for themselves going forward. So really looking forward to kind of making that community. There's a lot of things that I want to also do apart from just Gud Gum, and that's completely related. Like Food Farmer is an influencer. You might, right?
Who disrupts every brand.
Bonvita, right?
Yeah.
So the Bonvita wala video I made a year before he made it, and it's on my Instagram. You can see it right now as well.
Wow.
But he just happened to go viral with that. Good for him, and good that it's out there. But like that's the sort of content or that's the sort of value I want to add in the society, right? When I am 50 years old, I should be able to sleep well in the night thinking कि है ना, मेरे एक कम्युनिटी है 1 करोड़ लोगों की जो जानते हैं कि कोक नहीं पीना चाहिए या क्यों नहीं पीना चाहिए. मैं भी कोक पीता हूँ, but I don't drink it every day, right? So educating consumers about nutrition and food in general, and my goal is to really kind of make nutrition or food as a subject mandatory in junior school, right? अगर आप बच्चों को ये नहीं सिखा रहे हो कि आप क्या खा रहे हो या कैसे बनती है ये चीज, they are growing to be obese or they're growing to be diabetic, right?
Yeah.
And these need to be taught to them at a very early stage. So that's something what I'm focused on to create that sort of community. Product, so definitely there'll be a lot more, but as a company, those are different things that we want to get into.
Perfect. Is it also apart from all Shark Tank entrepreneurship business, what does Mayank does in his free time? What is Mayank's personal life is like? If you want to share.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a big time fitness freak. I run, I work out. Like I feel guilty all day if I've skipped my workout. So I used to be a really fat person. Post that, I worked really hard to get to the fitness level that I am at right now. So fitness is one major thing. I read a lot. Like just geopolitics, etc. And I also write. I have my own travel. So it's not like a commercial thing, but I like to document things, and I feel that it could be helpful for people if at all it appears on the Google search, right? So we do a lot of. I have my couple of friends, and like we do a lot of offbeat travel. We don't go to places that are very 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 popular, but places that are much less traveled to, and I write about that. Yeah. So those are different things that I do to keep myself sane apart from Good Gum.
Perfect. Is there anything you want to say anymore?
I think, I mean, that's about it. But I just like wherever I'm talking, I make sure I tell people that food literacy is very important. Firstly, know what you eat and don't waste what you're eating. Right? These are two important things, and you can see that on my LinkedIn profile, saying like I envision a future where nobody goes to sleep hungry. Right? Like there's unlimited food available, but it just does not reach a person. So don't waste your food and know what you eat.
Thank you so much for listening till this point. If you've liked the conversation, you've taken away, you've learned something from this conversation, do not forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends and family, and you want to listen more interesting conversations with more interesting people, founders, entrepreneurs, people from various fields, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 12 p.m. This is your host Aditya Bajaj signing off. Bye bye.